just to the north of where this monster is hitting Rockport. We do have continuing coverage right here on TXA 21, including a team of reporters in the hurricane zone.
And it's going to be a long night for many, but we want to get underway with our chief meteorologist, Scott Paget. Harvey's current position, where it's going, and what we think the next 12 or so hours are going to hold. Scott?
12 or so hours are not going to be great. And now down in the southeast sides, as you can see, of Texas, there is Corpus Christi, there is Port Aransas, there is Rockport. So the barrier island where we're seeing landfall happening just north of Port Aransas, this is pushing its way onshore. Rockport dealing with that eye wall, that outer eye wall, but the inner eye wall just now, I think, crossing the barrier islands. There is sea drift, so you can definitely see that center of circulation now pushing its way over the barrier islands just off to the northeast of Port Aransas. We have winds sustained at 130 miles per hour within this eye wall. Zooming in just a bit more, there's Aransas Pass, there's trade winds, so we are continuing to see the very dangerous portion of this storm pushing onshore. Remember, when you have the forward movement of a hurricane, which I've sliced open this 3D model, you can see the front right quadrant. It's moving to onshore to the northwest. That front right side is where we have the most dangerous amount of those strong winds, those sustained winds. But take a look. You can also see kind of inside that counterclockwise circulation with Harvey. As we've sliced the storm just a bit, I'm going to turn it because you can see that we have winds really just racing at 130 miles per hour, and those cloud tops well above 60,000 feet as Harvey is now pushing onshore and widening out the view. You can see that we have feeder bands now to near Houston, up to near Galveston, feeding in it to Category 4 Hurricane Harvey that now is pushing onshore here in parts of Texas, but also that range stretches all the way back into parts of Louisiana. So continuing to see that for us as you take a look with the velocity. We're seeing those winds towards and away from the radar. We will continue to track these winds that are causing some devastation there, Doug and Gilma.
Okay, Scotty, thanks very much. So we do have a team of reporters now along the Texas coastline tonight. We got Jeff Paul in Galveston. We have Jason Allen closer to the eye of the hurricane in Victoria. So Jason, let's start with you as long as we've got a good signal. What do you have?
So we're in Victoria, and we're kind of coming down the main highway right now, Doug, and headed toward the Old Town area. So let me show you what you're looking at. So mostly right now, you are probably just seeing rain. The gusty winds, and there it goes a gust right there, are kind of intermittent still. The heavy rain sort of intermittent, but we are now just starting to get some power outages. We just saw a big string of street lights go down. Some smaller trees are starting to go down now. They have, in the last hour or so, they have raised the flood forecast for the river here. And I know a lot of times we were talking about the wind being a big concern, and that is, but we are hearing a lot more discussion about the flooding forecast. That's really starting to take the biggest concern here over the next couple of days as this rain starts to pile up. So we're still waiting for the heaviest of the winds. We know that they are not that far south of us, but we expect to kind of be in that dangerous northeast quadrant there as the storm starts to come up, and expect things to change pretty significantly here over the next couple of hours, Doug.
All right, Jason Allen, thank you very much for taking us inside where you are. Jeff Paul, as I mentioned, in Galveston tonight, where some pretty intense outer bands from Harvey have moved through this evening. But again, the center of this storm is farther to the west. But Jeff, talk to us about what you're experiencing where you are right now.
Hey, Doug, yeah, the winds have really picked up out here at times. As you see, when I'm standing like this, you can see just what it's doing to my jacket. I don't know if you can tell how hard it's raining, and it's really hard to tell if it's rain or if it's simply the ocean water picking up and carrying over. You can taste the salt water. And if you take a look out there, as we stand here along the coastline of Galveston, you can see the strong winds coming in. And the other thing you might notice, as I'm standing here, there's a lot of people out here. They're out here right now taking it in sort of as a spectator sort of thing, taking pictures, selfies out here. That's certainly been going on this evening since we've been out here. But as night has gotten a little deeper into the evening, less and less people out here. Fewer and fewer people are out here taking pictures of this. Now, we did speak to some people who have lived in Galveston for quite some time, and you know, right now they are enjoying the weather. They say it's pretty amazing to feel this, to feel the rain, the wind, and even to see some of the lightning out here. But they're going to be watching the forecast very closely because some of them have lived through some pretty fierce storms, and they have no idea how this is going to turn out for them. Doug?
All right, Jeff Paul tonight, Harvey making landfall. He is in Galveston for us.
You can see so many people did not heed the warning to evacuate, and this is pretty serious because this has the potential to cause some very severe damage. With more on that, we're going to head over to meteorologist Scott Padgett.
Because it is a Category 4. Jeff, well off to the northeast of that center of circulation. You can see those outer bands working through Galveston. That wind is sustained at 130 miles per hour, but I wanted to show you the forecast track, pushing inland as a Category 4 to then a Category 3. Overnight tonight, still a Category 3 hurricane with winds sustained at 115 miles per hour. That was the latest information from the National Hurricane Center. We'll get an update in the next couple of hours, but still by Saturday afternoon, a Category 1 hurricane pushing inland, closer towards San Antonio, possibly as a tropical storm. We could see tropical storm force winds in San Antonio, very close also to College Station with this tropical storm. And then it looks like Harvey is going to then wrap its way back around close to the coast as a tropical storm by Monday afternoon. We're not done talking about Harvey. Into Tuesday, still a tropical storm, and then pushing closer towards Houston as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday. So the big concern there is there's going to be a number of hours that there are people within these violent winds right near Port Aransas, right near Rockport. You can see that red color there, but then look at the tropical storm force winds still for a couple of days over the same area of land, causing some issues. Just want to point out, Hurricane Carla in 1961 was the last Category 4 to hit Texas right near Port Lavaca. That's just north of where it looks like Harvey is making landfall. So we are watching this. There are storm surge alerts, as we talked about, storm surge warnings for possibly in some spots 6 to 12 feet. Large swells, dangerous rip currents. Again, the deepest is right along the coast, destructive waves, and the tidal cycle, of course, important. High tide making it worse. Life-threatening storm surge, but also devastating rains, possibly near 25 to maybe 30 inches of rain over about 4 to 5 days. Doug and Gilma.
Yeah, and the big fear tonight, obviously, is what daylight is going to bring tomorrow, because so often these things happen in the middle of the night, and then it's very scary for the people who are in the middle of this, and then usually the daylight brings the really bad news. We'll have continuing coverage online, CBSDFW.com. As we get new information, we will see you for CBS 11 News at 10 o'clock on CBS 11.